Hi, my name is Adeze, a local no-code developer who works with tools like Airtable, Zapier, Make, and CRM AI building chatbots. The other day, my client wanted me to replicate their Trello board in Airtable, and I was like, isn't that just Kanban view? I can run it up. And just when I was about to start, I realized that it was way beyond just Kanban view. I tried to get a couple of YouTube videos that will help me, especially because of the checklist aspect. So I'm going to walk you through what it looks like so that you understand. And the resources I found on YouTube was very limited. I think just one, and even that one couldn't give me what exactly I wanted. And so I decided that I was going to run up some dummy details without having to use my client's details to show you how you can easily replicate Trello in Airtable. So I'm going to walk you through what the Trello looks like. So these are my personal boards, my personal Airtable, and my personal Trello board. And as you all know, if you're familiar with Trello, this is typically how Trello looks like with the cards and all that, the lists and the cards. So each of these are lists. We have 4 lists here. Then if we had more cards here, maybe for tax, those are cards. So for this is what the inside looks like. The first phase is supposed to be the status. No, the first phase is supposed to be the name of the card, and this ready to do is the status and the description and the checklist. In Airtable, if we go to the Kanban view, I tried to, let me hide this. I tried to replicate that. You can see the first phase, this first phase that we have up here, and this description that we have here. The ready to do is this one. It's not up. We have it down here as a status. Where's that status now? Um yeah, this is the status here. Then the description is this one up here that is very lengthy with all that is written here. This is it. So you might be wondering, how am I able to do this? Bolding it, italize it, use bullet points and all that. I'm going to explain all of that, but I just want to give you a run through. Because Airtable is not natively built to replicate or to act like Trello, it's quite hard to navigate a lot of things until you improvise. And that was what I tried to do. So for the checklist that we have down here, which ordinarily if we were to create, we just come here, click on checklist, title the checklist, and name all the subtasks under it. In this case, it had to be done inside a long form text, and I will try to replicate this as the title of each checklist and the sub checklist under them, like this clarity and client personnel. You'll find it down here. You find it down here. Then this other checklist here are the ones we have here. The next checklist is this one, and yeah. So now let's go in and see how we can. Okay, no, before we do that, where how you can easily just assign somebody to each of these. Like I said, Airtable is not natively built to replicate Trello. It could happen later in the future, but when I'm doing this video, it is not natively built to replicate Trello. So it's not enough to say, Kanban view can run it, until you have to deal with the checklist. Then you realize that it's not just Kanban view. So the place for comments, I just added it for adding sake. You can always leave comments here, because if you just use the here for comments, you will realize that you can only drop one comment. What if more people wanted to drop comments, just like we have here? That when you write something here, you can save. You want to write another thing again, you can drop. But if we try it here, if we try to write something, you cannot enter, and it can move. But if I try to write anything here, I can enter. I try to write something, I can enter. So the whole essence was just to put it there as a figurehead. It's not doing anything. If you really wanted to use the comment side, this place here does a better job. So let's see how I was able to create this checklist and all these things. Now, I've been using Airtable for a while, but there are a lot of things you get to learn as you keep, keep working on tasks with Airtable. So I'm not going to tamper with what I've written here, but I'm going to try to do it afresh somewhere so that you understand what I've done. So let's name this one. We want to use a long test. So I'm going to name it notes 2, because two fields cannot bear the same name. So I'm going to name it note 2. Then I'll go in there and attempt to type in something, just do what I'm doing. But if you see, if I highlight it, there's no way, even if I try to open it, there's no way I can do anything here. I can't bolden it. I can't enlarge the text. I can't do absolutely anything. This is where the trick comes. So I'm going to go in here again to edit this field. When I click on this formatting that says enable rich text formatting, that is where the magic is. I know. It's not that deep, I know, but it does a big deal. So I'm going to say that. And if you can see, the way this looks now has changed compared to before. Now, if we go into this and see, as because we have enriched it, this option now comes up. There is a lot you can do with that option. If you highlight it, you can bolden, you can italize, you can cross, you can, um, code block it. You can, maybe if you want to hyperlink something there, you can maybe put the link here and it hyperlinks to it. There's a whole lot you can do when you do that. So I'm just going to remove all of that. That doesn't end there. If I put my cursor in front, now remember that it was when I highlighted it that these options came out. If I put my cursor in front, this inverted P comes up and it comes with different things. Now I think this is for paragraph. If I want to paragraph this, I can use this option. So maybe if I do like this, okay, no, if I do like this, if I had a lot written, I can paragraph it. Now, if I want to if I want to quote this, maybe I wrote a lot of things. If I even want to make it more cheeky, I can come and italize it and bolden it. It now shows that that place is to be italicized, right? If I come here, I can code block it, maybe to, if you are a deaf person or you've worked with codes before, when you're doing a readme file and you want to emphasize that that is a code that you're trying to talk about, you can use that option. How about if I wanted to bolden it? You can see you can see so these options are there. Now if I want to number them, I can come here and number one. If I, because of that number one, if I click on the enter and return or enter, depending on the laptop you're using, it takes you to the next number and like that. How about if I wanted to bullet point it? I press return, it takes me to the next bullet point when I'm writing what I want to write. So if I want to now do checklist, this was my favorite that I was trying to replicate from Trello. You can see that it gives me room to create a checklist, and that is it. That was how I was able to create this one here. So I played around with all of that. So I kept a couple of them that I have not done so that we could just demonstrate it together. So I want to bolden this one. At the same time, I want to increase the size, and you can see this is supposed to be a checklist. I'll click here. This is also supposed to be a checklist. I'll click here. Do the same for this one. I think the spacing is too much. So I'm going to bolden it, come back here, keeping them uniform. Checklist, checklist, and checklist. Let me do this last one so that we can go to the next thing that I want to show us. Sorry. Yeah. So because if you know in Trello, you can easily assign somebody next to this place. But because Airtable is not like that, I had to devise a means by putting in brackets that whenever the next person, the person who works on this task, whenever the person is done, the person should, I'll tell you when to assign Taylor. So whoever is working on this should assign Taylor on the list. When Taylor comes in, does his own task, and he clicks here, when he ticks it, he should assign Jordan, and he should change the what's it called? the status to this next one. The instruction is not here because when I built it for the team, I recorded an explanatory video for them to work with. I didn't want to make this place very clumsy and take out the purpose of the checklist. So I recorded a demo video for them to work with. So now if I did now for the sake of this demo, it's just me that is here. It's just me. There's no other person here. So if there is a tailor here, when tailor is done and he clicks on this, he will come here, assign the next person. And when he assigns the next person, that person will automatically get a Slack message because I built an automation for that in where I worked with. So I had all team members added to the Airtable board to the Airtable base rather, and I automated that when a record is so for here it is when a record is updated, and when I picked that record, I picked the table I wanted to work with, picked a grid view because it's from the grid view they'll be working. Selected the field. What field am I looking to work on? It's certainly the select field. Then I chose a record and there was a sample record. So the next was to send a Slack message. So before this, I've already set up my Slack. The reason why I did it before this video is because I belong to multiple workspace and I didn't want that showing on the camera. So I've already attached to this to the one that I want. So what I did was to make sure that it was sent to the individuals who like to their inbox. If you want it to be sent to a channel where you can monitor it, that's fine. But I didn't see the need for it. People can easily get it. So we come to the automation here, and it will be when record matches a condition. So what table is that? It's certainly the test table. And what will be this condition? To be when status a specific um is a specific status. So we should pick it. Okay, there's no. So if this is this, remember in the check, remember in the checklist that when it is changed to this, it's supposed to be assigned to somebody. Let's say maybe Adeze is the person is supposed to be assigned to, and after Adeze, when Adeze has done her task and she ticks on this, she will assign it next to Taylor. So when the status is clarity uh, and client personnel, you come here. So choose a record. Yeah, I pick it. What will happen? It will be assigned to a Daisy. So it will be assigned to the name. That's who it will be assigned to when the user status has been changed. You have been assigned a task in Airtable under this will be under status. Sorry, the status is called select here. So let's preview it so that you see what it looks like. The bot name, we'll just put testing so that you see how the message comes in. So I'm going to generate a preview. That didn't work. So let's check. Let's check whether we assigned. Okay, we didn't assign anybody. So we're supposed to assign a Daisy. After we changed the status, we're supposed to assign a Daisy. So let's go back and check it again. So let's generate. Perfect. The name has come up here. I think I had to go back to the trigger to check and touch the assign to again. So hi, Adeze Namdi, you have a task in Airtable under clarity. So if you want to be sure that this is addressed properly, we can put a quotation mark here. Then we generate again. Yeah. So if we run this, Adeze should get a Slack message, which we will check. So um, I'm going to remove this and remove this, but turn on the notification, the automation so that we see it. So let me go to Slack for us to see it. Now that the automation is on and that we have switched to Slack, so let's try to change this to Clarity and Adeze. So let's go and check Slack. Now the message has even dropped before I could even complete it. So you see, hi, you have a task in Airtable under this. Thank you. So you can see that it delivered. If I wanted it to go to a channel, I would have set it that way. But the whole essence of this video is to help you see how you can replicate Trello in Airtable, especially with achieving that with the checklist, bolding and making this bigger. And if you wanted to do a due date, that one should be easy for you. You just add a due date to do. I hope you enjoyed this session as much as I enjoyed recording it for you. And I'm hoping that you find it useful at every point that you will need to, practice with it. So thank you very much. And for every time you change the status, you should also know that it will move. So if we go back here and I change this to program, if we go back to Kanban, you can see it has automatically moved. You don't need to be moving cards like you do in Trello. As far as you change the status, this changes. So thank you for coming to this quick demonstration that I did. I hope you enjoyed it. Once more, my name is Adeze, and see you in my next video.